Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. There we are. How's everybody doing? You like my face? What's up? I can't hear anything here. Alrighty. Jack's not here yet. All right, enough messing around with that. Okay, so hello, hello, hello. What's up, Michelle? How are you, sweetheart? That is creepy. I'm trying to shut it off here. I don't know what I did. I'm trying to get it. Trying to get it. Hang on. Give me a break. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Oh, I got to stop share. That's what I got to do. There we go. Now I got to go down here. Change this setting. Oops. I guess I can't. So then I got to go here. Darn it. Bear with me, guys. What's up, Menza? I'm doing okay. I am doing okay. This one? No. You can tell I'm not the greatest at this stuff, right? Okay, so I gotta go into video settings. Go into exit full screen. Sorry, people. Sorry, people. Okay. I don't know how to switch this. So we'll at least we'll go to this one. There, that's better. That's better, huh? What's up, Deborah? Yeah, we're gonna do a little program today with Jack. He's gonna be here any minute now. And I wanted to say, hey, thank you for everybody that giving me encouragement. You don't have to be on the same page as me. That's even better if you're not. And I don't know what the hell is going on with my video here. There, is that better? Always display, put it in their videos, gallery view. Okay. All right, I'm done messing with it now. Yeah. So hey, what's up, Code? You know I'm ready. I'm ready. SpongeBob, right? Men's is in the house. Etheric Essentials in the house. So the last couple weeks, information's been flowing to me. There is no spoon. What do you mean? What are you talking about? The 51 Project. Haven't seen you around. Playing the spoons? Or you want to be spooning? But yeah, I've done a lot of synchronicity things happening this week for me. Like, I started out this week thinking, how does the word become flesh? In the Bible in John 1:1, where it says the word became flesh, and John was a witness. Oh, Matrix quote. Thank you. That's my little Christmas light thing. Thank you, Bruno. But yeah, for me, the way I learn the best is when there's a bit of back and forth or debate. Or, oh, Jack is here. Good. What up, buddy? Are you muted?
I'm unmuted.
There you go. What's up, bro?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Hanging in there. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Back hurts a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's what?
And you?
Oh man, I'm doing fucking shit. But I can take great solace in a couple of the books I've been reading this week. I've been reading Plato's Timaeus.
Mm-hmm.
It's a must read. If you're interested in metaphysics or spirituality, it's a must read. And the other book I've been reading is called The Cloud of Unknowing. Have you heard of it?
No, but I pretty much can tell what it is.
Yeah. It's called The Cloud of Unknowing. And the author is anonymous. And there's a translation by a mystic called Evelyn Underhill. She also wrote a book called High Mysticism. I think she's probably an illuminate like Phil or Yvonne.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, it's brilliant. It's so good. But it really is, that book teaches you how to literally proceed with the great work, essentially. And yeah, man, it's amazing. Sorry, someone's coming down the stairs in the house. I could just hear some rumbling. But yeah, they're the two books I've been reading this week. There was a quote from Plato that really just blew my mind. He said, and I'm paraphrasing him here, so forgive me, it may not be the correct, but the gist of what he's saying is that which is begotten never is, and that which is never begotten.
That which is never begotten, and that which is begotten and never is.
That which is begotten never is. So if you're born, you never are. You're a fleeting moment of.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, there's also another take on that, because obviously you have to be reborn in spirit to as the Christians say, attain eternal life. You know,
Born again, right?
Yeah, man. So yeah, they're the two books I've been reading, and they've been really good. So yeah. So how you doing anyway, man? What's been up with you?
Not much. Just been information's been just hitting me hard and heavy. You know, it's information that I've had, but you know, it won't find you until you're ready for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I watched video, your take, how the word comes flesh. I thought it was excellent, dude. I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was really good, man.
And you know, the weird thing is that information I've had in my back pocket for 2 years, dude. You know, that's and that was one of the first things I latched onto was that Hebrew alphabet thing, but I didn't understand it from the biblical perspective, you know.
Yeah. Well, this is why it's a holy language, you know, and that's what I found out from the number 73 is a star number. So the amount of dots that form the central hexagon and the amount of dots that form the sixth.
That's the year I was born.
1973. Oh, well, maybe, maybe that's why you got magic going, man.
That's weird.
Mystical magic. Yeah, but the point is that 73 times 37 is the Hebrew gematria of Genesis 1:1. 2,601. There's loads of.
That's a quarter of the. Or what is that? Is that a quarter of the processional year? What was the number you just belted out?
2,701.
Okay, that wasn't.
Yeah, there's loads of stuff in mathematics and in like popular culture about the number 73. And like I read something from a mathematician. He's like, oh yeah, it's also gematria of Genesis 1-1. That's just a mere coincidence. Anyway, back to the math. And I'm like, dude, like it's right in your face and you can't fucking see it. But
Right. I just realized this week too that Kabbalah is a study of names.
to elaborate on that.
Well, because in the word Kabbalah itself, it incorporates what we are with God. You know, Ka,
Ka,
Ka
ba,
is Ka is the physical, Ba is the spirit, and Allah is all of it together, and God.
I thought Ba was body.
No, Ba is the eternal spirit.
Oh, well, thank you for correcting me on that.
Ka is, that's why Shere Khan in the Jungle Book, you know, the snake.
Or Shaka Khan.
Or Shere Khan is the tiger, you know?
Yes, yeah. You know, dude, I haven't watched the Jungle Book since I was a little boy, so I'd have to rewatch it to see. But yeah, the interesting thing about the book, The Cloud of Unknowing, there's an audio book on YouTube. It's about 5 hours long. It really states how it's contemplation and more like emotion is like the key to attaining union with God, divine union. Now, it's interesting because it's like a different reference point than Phil's, because Phil said he used like the intellectual path.
Mm-hmm. Those are the gunas, right? The paths to God, correct?
Yeah. But it's all very fascinating. And it's good that you find more and more validation in history.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I found this. So this is the Hygromantia by Ioannis Marathakis. So this is the key of Solomon from the Greek, from ancient Greek, and the manuscripts translated in this grimoire are as date back to the 1500s. They think they're not too sure, and they don't know if there's an original Hebrew key of Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
Academics have tried to like trace the path of it, but there was a bit here from this grimoire that was very interesting. I sent it to you last night, and I'll just reread it. I don't know what page it's on. So
sorry to cut you off, but I wanted to say hi to a couple people. Hi, Ali Berry,
yeah.
Saturnarian Sun, Menza, and my anti-Steve. Thoth is in the house. I call him my anti-Steve because he's my anti. But you know, and see, I find it awesome when you disagree with people because you learn more. So, You know what I mean. And as long as you can dance with the devil and not shoot each other in the face, right? So yeah, but hi, Michelle Can-Am Free, love you. Baby Chain Gang, I love that name. Chrissy Jakul, love that name too. Hi, Chrissy, thank you for joining us. Allie Berry, I think I said your name. Let's see, am I missing anybody? I think that's everybody that's here. Oh, Code's here. What's up, Code? Matt Man. Sweet. They're you've got 22 over on Matt Man's channel watching us and 20 here. So we got a pretty big following right now. And I thank everybody for joining us. I don't do this for money. I do this for my own journey's sake and to hopefully inspire anybody else with anything I have to share. I can help you with pointing you in the right direction, but I can't even lead you to the trough because that is your duty.
You can only lead a horse to water, man.
Right.
Yeah. I can't find the page. It's here somewhere. But yeah. Damn it. Oh well, I think I texted to you so I can read it from. I'll read it from the text I sent you because I took a picture of the page. But so you know, bear in mind this is like the most standard magical grimoire in existence.
What does the word grimoire mean?
Gra means book of spells.
Okay.
But spells isn't a good word. Book of occult operations. So like if you seek riches, if you want to find buried treasure, if you want to become invisible, there's spirits that perform different functions, and the key is they perform functions that are like impossible for us to perform, and they will always manifest via a coincidence, via synchronicity. So it's a way to interact with the field. But again, you have to be very careful with it, because it talks about this in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, that these beings came from a lower circle. And the reason you have the circle is because they can't cross it. But I think many a magician have done a ritual in the past and messed it up, and they've like been released into this realm, basically. I don't know. I'm being very speculative here, but you know the bit where it talks about entities coming from a lesser cycle or something like that.
Yeah, right here. The consciousness below thee is ever expanding in different ways from those known to thee. But yeah, it says, first of all, the halls of a mentee, to me, a mentee means a mental, a mind, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty much saying inner mind. And yeah, hang on, I'll find it. Go ahead.
So I'll read this to anyone that's listening, and this is very interesting. Well, at least I think this is very interesting. And it's allegorical, but it's also true. So it talks about the abyss with the logos here, and it says the following. Oh, my phone keeps rotating. I need to screen lock. How do you screen lock? All right, I got it. So it says, concerning the dragon who resides in the ninth heaven. It's interesting they call it the ninth heaven, because you have the seven heavens, and then you got the eighth. So I'm not sure why they called it the ninth.
Because the eighth is the light itself, right? And the ninth is everything, God, heaven.
Maybe, yeah, maybe that is a good way of interpreting it. So I'll read it. It says, concerning the dragon who resides in the ninth heaven. There is a ninth heaven that is called starless, because it does not have any stars, but there is a sole star in it, in the likeness of a snake. It surrounds this heaven completely. 4 actions take place within this star. Sometimes it opens its mouth and yawns. Sometimes it moves and clicks its tongue. Sometimes it shakes its tail. And sometimes it quivers its middle parts. Behold, the 4 actions bring 4 effects. When it yawns, it shows death, because when it yawns, it shows that the earth will receive human bodies. So when it yawns, like, it doesn't literally do these things. It's talking about like the 4 elements here, I think, because that's the most basic alchemical attribution to the number 4. You think of the elements straight away. Because when it yawns, it shows death, because when it yawns, it shows that the earth will receive human bodies. So that, going back to Plato, that which begotten never is, because it dies, right? When it clicks its tongue, it foretells war, because its tongue is sword-like. So you immediately think to the book of Revelations, of the bronze sword, the man with the bronze sword. When it shakes its tail, hunger will take place on the whole earth. And when it quivers its middle parts, it reveals great earthquakes. So the great earthquakes isn't necessarily big earthquakes that happen. The earthquake is always the dramatic prose for someone who ascends. Like, there's a great earthquake, and then I was in
the way
heaven.
Phil explained it is, it feels like your brain slips on ice, he says.
Feel
At
it.
the moment. And that's the great earthquake. He explained that to me anyway.
Yeah. Your brain slips on ice.
That's how he explained it, yeah.
Your brain does slip when you're smoking ice as well.
I'm sure it does.
I've never tried it, nor would I. So, but I see them with slipping brains on the street corners. But anyway, we digress. So it gives an explanation, and so the four attributes of this dragon, the book, the grimoire here corresponds it to four zodiac signs: Cancer, Leo, Scorpio, and Capricorn. And what's interesting is Leo and Scorpio are fixed fire and water, and Cancer and Capricorn are cardinal water and earth, respectively. And then it goes on about divination you can do. So, like, it goes into detail of, like, you can look on the 13th of March that year to see what sign the moon is in on that day, and blah 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 blah. And this is where I think the real mystical element of it gets lost, and it goes more into the magical side of it. Because but yeah, I found that fascinating reading that the other day. I was like, damn.
Somebody asks what the fifth element is.
Spirit, I think.
You could say it's in the physical realm, ether, the ether. In the spiritual realm, you could say it's the truth, light, and
light, spirit, ether. Yeah, they're all.
That's why the pyramid goes from 4 points to one tip, right?
Yeah,
Shine like a diamond in the sky.
Yeah, I still think. Let me look something up quickly that relates to the number of elements. So this is
hand, we have 4 elements on the fingers, and then we have the one separated, but in coordination, you get shit done.
Right. Yeah. I think Phil has described it as spirit. I might be wrong. I might be putting his words in his mouth. Sorry, Phil, if I'm doing that. I know he's probably asleep.
Right. Spirit can go hand in with truth too, though. Consciousness, yes.
Okay, so this is the Sri Brahma-Samita, 5th chapter, verse number 51. So it says the 3 worlds, which is the 3 gunas, are composed of 9 elements: fire, earth, ether, water, air, direction, time, soul, and mind.
Bingo, baby, because we are the point source perspective, the perspective or the point. Where did you say there? Place, position?
So fire, earth, ether, water, and air.
Yep.
Direction, time, soul, and mind.
Time. We are time.
But you know, that's a question as well. What is the time? And I know, like, I know you could be like, oh yeah, it's 7:25 or 9:25 respectively. But this is another thing that it talked about in Plato's Timaeus, that he talks about the celestial sphere and then the 7 wandering stars. The one attributed to there's the one attributed to Hermes, he says, which is Mercury, the one attributed to Lucifer, which is Venus. But he explains how these stars are in their fixed orbit by he calls it the fashioner or the creator, which is the demiurge. It's not God, it's the logos, right?
The creator, yes.
And the stars and planets are fixed in their orbits. And he talks about how we as our soul have fixed orbits, but we wander away from our orbits and we have to get back on them. So like, in a weird way, our soul is metaphysically revolving around, I guess, truth, maybe, or divinity, you could say.
Well, the center, the axis mundi.
The axis mundi. Yeah, I mean, in a metaphysical sense, I mean, you know, you can build this reference point up. You can say, well, I'm on the earth, so I'm revolving around the sun. And then you could say, well, I'm in the solar system, so I'm revolving around the galaxy. Then you could say, well, I'm in the galaxy, so I'm revolving around
the universe. Yep.
but you're in the universe. So what's the universe revolving about? Which is obviously,
Universe is one.
yeah, but I think you don't have to go beyond galaxy, because in
Right.
in the ancient world, they always just talked about how, you can stop at galaxy and it's the central black hole that we now know. As Phil said, the breaks of the universe.
I think
You
we're
know,
all connected to each one of those. I think we are the take back, the reverberation, or the respin, or the re.
well, actually, interesting you say that. I can verify what you just said because it's here in the Sri Brahma-Samita, verifies what you just said. I don't know what verse it is, so I'm going to have to scroll through it really quickly.
Well, because
But
we think of expansion, and that's what the universe is doing right now. It's expanding. So there has to be something to pull it back in.
well, there
And
has to be. It can't break polarity, can it?
no, it can't. It's got to be in balance. Otherwise, it don't exist anymore.
It doesn't exist anyway, though, does it?
Well,
Because
not in
that,
existence.
that which if we
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole antithesis thing about, there's an anti to everything. There's a, and that's what string theory and supersymmetry is about.
yeah. Oh God, there's a verse here that totally, totally. Oh, what was the point you made again about how we are connected to the black hole?
Yeah, I think because we're singularities within the whole condition. You know, we are the singularities. That means we are the position in which perspective becomes reality
Right. Yeah.
after it all coalesces as a whole.
Okay.
I find it interesting that we have holes. We feed ourselves. The other end. I'm not even going to say it. There's holes in space. I mean, the holes are the holy of holes.
Yes. Yes. Holy and whole.
Right.
So it says here, this is kind of different, the translation that I'm reading online. I'm on vedabase.io, but it says by conglomerating all those separate. Oh, I'll read the last verse so you'll have context for this one. So the Sri Brahma Samhita, 5th chapter, verse 19. Before their conglomeration, the primary elements in their nascent state remained originally separate entities. Non-application of the conglomerating process is the cause of their separate existence. It might take you.
What I just said. You said
Right.
it in a fancier way. Right.
Well, I didn't say it in a fancy way. The
No,
Vedas
right.
did.
Yeah.
But okay, so divine Mahavishnu, primal Godhead, through association with his own spiritual potency, moved Maya. Maya is the physical universe, I think, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
Anyway, moved Maya by the application of the conglomerating principle, created those different. Hold on, let me read the sentence again. Divine Mahavishnu, primal Godhead, through association with his own spiritual potency, moved Maya, and by the application of the conglomerating principle, created those different entities in their state of cooperation. And after that, he himself consorted with Yoganindra by way of his eternal dalliance with his spiritual potency. By conglomerate, and here's number 20. By conglomerating all those separate entities, he manifested the innumerable mundane universes and himself entered into the inmost recess of every extended conglomerate, Virad Vigraha. So in the other translation I read, it said atoms. It says
yeah.
So in the inmost recess of every atom, where Sri Govinda or Mahavishnu, or Krishna, it's already the same. It's just a different aspect of Krishna. That's where he resides. So that's why meditation can bring you on rapport with Krishna or God. So
it brings you to the stillness within the motion, the emotion that we are. Yes.
Yeah. And then the last line in this, it says, at the time, those jivas who had lain dormant during the cataclysm were awakened. So I don't know what a jiva is, but I'm thinking the cataclysm is going to be like like tension is synonymous with a cataclysm, isn't it? So like,
yeah, that's the cataclysm.
you're awakened in the which, you know, tribulation
Because your
is,
ego dies.
yeah, yeah.
Death.
Yeah, here's very interesting because it talks about the origin of the four-faced Brahma. I'll read the next one. The divine lotus, which springs from the navel pit of Vishnu, is in every way related by the spiritual tie with all the souls, and is the origin of four-faced Brahma, versed in the four Vedas. So we know Brahma is the logos, right? Brahma is the word,
the world,
or the demiurge. And it's interesting, it talks about Brahma being four-faced, and then in the Hygromantia, which I just read, it talks about the snake or the dragon that looks like a snake having four modes of action.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the east, west, south, north, and the four elements, and yeah, all of the above.
Yeah, it's all very interesting. All these scriptures absolutely saying the same thing.
It's incredible, because when I first set out on my journey here, my first question was, what the hell is the cross, dude? You know, I got to find out what the cross is about.
Yeah.
And the cross is everything to us, and nothing to most. You know,
well, you talking about like the Catholic
the cross itself, just the cross. You know, cross throughout time, throughout ages, it's been there.
Right. Yeah.
And it is the symbol of what it looks like, a glint of light in the darkness. What the hell is the cross, dude?
Yeah.
But listen to this. As soon as you started reading that, I looked at my book, and deep beneath the earth's surface is the halls of Amenti, sit the seven, the lords of the cycles. I and another, the Lord from below. Yet know thee that in infinity there is neither above nor below, but ever there is and ever shall be oneness of all. When all is complete, oft have I journeyed to the halls of Amenti, oft have I stood before the lords of the all. Oft have I drank, oft at the fount of their wisdom have drunken, and filled both my body and soul with their light. Spake they to me and told me of cycles, of the law that gives them the names to exist. I spake to me the Lord of the Nine, saying, O Thoth, great are ye among earth's children. And Thoth is to me the consciousness, right?
Right.
Is the ever-flowing knowledge, or the Akashic that flows through everybody and everything. And
right.
You know, and so yeah, it's the nine, and the consciousness below thee is ever expanding in different ways from those known to thee. Oh wait, I skipped this. Ye know that ye come from a space-time below this, and know ye shall travel to a space-time beyond. But little ye know of the mysteries within them, little ye know of the wisdom beyond. Know ye that ye, as a whole in this consciousness, are only a cell in the process of growth. So we are each 1/1000th of a hertz, or a heart,
well, yeah,
in the
it's like
resonant field, which is the heartbeat of the earth.
yeah, I always saw it like how human beings are the mitochondria of like the earth, or even the galaxy, you could say, you know. You know what I mean?
Sorry, guys.
I'm trying to find the Plato quote that I
Charlie says, just think, without consciousness, the universe couldn't exist. This is true. Because in the beginning was the word.
well, yeah, that links to all right, I'm gonna get off the internet and just focus on the chat. Yeah, that links to the first hermetic principle of mentalism, all is mind.
And
Yeah.
in almost every intellectual exercise will bring you to the fact that you have to have thought before you have action. Everything. In everything. I mean, you think about things before you do them, unless you're an instinctual creature. And that's why we're not instinctual creatures. We have instincts, but you know,
Well, that really is what a surprise is. and you might have even thought about it a couple of weeks before, but someone can surprise you with something, and that is something physically manifesting without your thought going into, even though someone else's thought went into it, but not yours personally. And that's why you're so like, oh my God, like, if your wife was just to, bring you a fucking turkey drumstick in right now, freshly cooked, like, here you go. I don't know. I'm using an arbitrary example.
Well, the simplest way to look at it is you have to think about a peanut butter and jelly sandwich before you can eat it, because the process between the thinking and the making, and it's just like the process of we're building our pyramids here to get to the truth.
Right? Yeah. No, I it's very interesting.
And this last week, that's how I've looked at everything, dude. I see the process in everything now.
Yeah, but see, this is where you and me, or you and I are in a position. This is what I said to you the other day when we were texting. You and me are in a position now, and I'm sure there's many other people in the chat that have followed your stuff, Yvonne's, Phil's, like people with an excellent mystical education that may not be enlightened themselves, but are definitely on the path. Like you and me have an ability now to call out like weak or poor or erroneous spiritual teachers or fake spiritual teachers. And I won't mention any names, but I brought this up with you the other night, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to mention any names, and I'm not making an ad hominem attack on anyone. I'm attacking the principle, but there was this spiritual teacher that we discussed, and I noticed that everything was focused on a conspiracy. There was the mention that the demiurge is evil and you have to escape the demiurge, which is kind of true, but it's not true when you really understand it, and the onion goes so deep, the conspiracy runs so deep, how they're fucking you over, blah 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 blah. But what I found shocking is there were some good points made and some true points in this long video I watched. However, I heard every 10 minutes, red flag, that's wrong, or a point, that's wrong. And this is the thing. I know there are many paths to get to truth, and there's many routes you can take. You can do Hinduism, you can do Christian mysticism, you can do ceremonial magic, you can go to an ashram. But essentially, there's a point of convergence. At a certain point, all these different disciplines converge. And if you've risen up intellectually beyond that converging point, like we're doing now in our comparative religion, comparing Egyptian with Hindu or Vedic and Greek texts, right? There comes a point where it's all going in the same direction. There's, like I said, there's a convergence, and that gives you the ability to not call out, but spot errors in other spiritual teachers that might claim something that isn't true personally for themselves. And like I said,
just like you said, you can't I learned that every time I start stoking a fire like that, it just falls badly upon my journey, if you follow me there.
Yeah, I'm not going to stoke, like I said,
You know what I mean?
I'm not mentioning
who am I to say anybody's not enlightened when I'm not enlightened myself?
But and this is how things become like a cult, because the cult leader claims some spiritual authority, even though they don't have one. And and this person in question, I don't think they're doing that consciously, but it still manifests in that kind of way. And it's like, I'm going to stay away from this. And it's hard because, there was this video I watched, and it was said, we all know something's wrong with this world. That's why you're here, because you feel there's something wrong with this world. Okay, fine. That's a true statement. I'd accept that. It's like Morpheus with Neo in the Matrix, But the thing that I think is wrong with this world, when I contemplated on that question, is one, universal truth is a great mystery to mankind at this point in time. You know, put it down to Kali Yuga, whatever. But the other point that I think is wrong is there's the separation from the divine, and that's the pain that we feel. Even though it's unconscious for most people, like, God, what is it that isn't quite right about this place? It's the separation from divinity, and that's the price we pay for physical creation. You know, that's the price, and we have to negotiate evil and suffering and tragedy as a price of that. But it's worth it at the end of the day. Otherwise, it would be a thing, you know.
Well, that's exactly what the thing is I think the hero's journey is appealing to every human on the planet, and it's that way for a reason, because if there was never a mountain to be climbed, we wouldn't feel inspired to climb it. You know, we would feel like there's no point.
Well, it's like when you play a computer game, whatever genre it may be, on easy mode against the computer, and you just kicking its ass, and it gets boring, and you got to turn up the difficulty.
Yep.
And then you eventually play it on expert level because it's the most challenging, you know.
And that's just yes.
And that's what the Zen koans and the ancient Buddhists said, is that what is it that God lacks? And that's limitation. Although he doesn't really lack limitation, because he sends us all here to experience limitation. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, very interesting.
Very interesting. And you know, Thoth made a good point back here. He said, oh, Bruno, I think the greatest enemy of on the spiritual path is lust and pride. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Must have found and Saturnarian sun is just tell us who it was. Demiurge, the circle of life. Yes, Thoth, that's what the demiurge is. And but he said something smart here. Well, he always says something smart, but most things aren't hidden. Oh, most things aren't hidden. They are willfully ignored. Yes.
But
I agree with that.
Now, I've been watching, there's an occultist, an Irish occultist on YouTube called Thomas Sheridan. And I've started watching I stopped watching his videos because he's pagan and very, very anti-Abrahamic, because he hasn't been taught how to properly interpret Abrahamic stuff. But anyway, he made a point that I thought was great. He said, right now, what aware people are getting, or people that see through the bullshit and the facade of mundane life, we're getting a great education right now. And in that point, what I realized, I didn't realize how easy it was to manipulate the vast swathes and masses of the human populace. I didn't realize how easy it was. So you go back to 9/11, it was a one-off event, and they published their official report, and then the truthers were looking for, hey, what really happened here? But that was it was, you know, the event was over in within 24 hours. Obviously, the ramifications reverberated for a long time thereafter. But my point is, with the COVID zeitgeist, this is a long drawn out one, and it's an ongoing thing, and you don't know when it's going to end, blah, blah, blah. And there's other agendas. But this is my point. It's a great education at the moment.
That's exactly what I think it is, brother. I think it's more of a in your face, take stock for what you have, be appreciative for what you got, and know that life is not a grind or a place for us to inhabit and just feel good. You know,
what you're talking about, like hedonism.
You know, because if everything was great, we wouldn't know what bad is. Right. And if everything was bad, we wouldn't know what great is. So There has to be a roller coaster. You know, there has.
Yeah. Well, this goes back into the toil of life and the suffering and the tragedy, you know, but it's a price that it's an inescapable price of life. You know, I did have a good point that led on to that. Yes. So this was the other point regarding getting a great education at the moment. It's as if those people like who see through, who are like with everything that's going on, the people that realize the government and the media are manipulating the fuck out of the situation, and there's this other agenda, and it's all published. You can go and look it up. Blah blah blah.
It's obvious.
The people that realize that this is going on, I would say those people are more in harmony with Dharma and natural law, God's law. That's why we can see what's going on. Like even though it's transient, and it never is, according to Plato, we can still see the illusion of it within the grand illusion of samsara, right? And it's as if the people who, or the masses of sheeple, the normies, they can't see it because it's like nature's left them behind because they're out of sync with Dharma, and they're metaphysically impotent.
No, I don't see it like that. I think they're just on their own spiritual path. And
but think about here to debate you on this point.
We're all in the same boat. We're all going to find our solace someday.
And this is the point that I disagree with you on. That is, it's like Yvonne said, is she questioned, and I'm paraphrasing her again, and forgive me if I put words in her mouth, but there's like this exigency to force people towards the great work. And you can argue that the luxuries and liberties of free market capitalism have made people complacent in life, where they become hedonistic. So if you take all that away, and everyone does actually become real dirt poor, and we live like people did in 1920s fucking Russia, or turn of the century Russia,
1850s America.
Maybe we might maybe that might, you know, make people generally more introspective. But look, this is the point on all this topic, and why really you can't make someone's bed and lie in it for them. You can't save anyone. It's up to the individual.
Yes.
Which is why I fucking hate collectivism. You know, I despise it. I understand it's a natural consequence, and it's archetypal in a way, which, you know, it's just an Aquarius archetype. But yeah, sorry, I rambled on a bit there. I hope everyone could follow me.
Takes several years of living in reality to make them more smarter. It's funny that Thoth is one of two people that have a wrench. he's
what's the little wrench all about?
The wrench is the moderator. They can delete people's comments and you know, whatever.
Right, well, Michelle said with her wrench. Correct.
Yeah, correct.
I don't know what point she meant, but all right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
very interesting.
We have to remember, though, that, you know, even though this life isn't against you, or it's not evil, it's not for you either. It's an automatic life that it's an energy coalescence that is just going to be random unless you have order in your own life.
You know, this is the whole point of magic, and Phil did mention this in the podcast we did the other day. He said when you're on a path towards enlightenment, you can start personally working with archetypal energies, and you can manipulate the laws. Well, from a temporal perspective, magic looks like you're manipulating the laws of nature, but you're not. They're just other laws that are available to you, and you still have to do it properly, otherwise things can go catastrophic. But, you know, and I'm not talking about necessarily like evoking spirits to do things, just like invoking planetary energies can cause dramatic changes in your life for the better or worse, depending on what it is you want. Unfortunately, most people get into magic for power, more sex, and more money.
All through the ages has knowledge existed, never been changed, though buried in darkness, never been lost, though forgotten by man. Know ye that throughout the space that ye dwell in are others as great as your own, interlaced through the heart of your matter, yet separate in space of their own. Once in a time long forgotten, I thought, opened the doorway, penetrated into other spaces, and learned of the secrets concealed. Deep in the essence of matter are many mysteries concealed. 9 are the interlocked dimensions, and 9 are the cycles of space. 9 are the diffusions of consciousness, and 9 are the worlds within worlds. 9 are the lords of the cycles that come from above and below.
See, it's interesting you found the number 9 there again, which this talked about 9 modes of 9 elements in the Sri Brahma-Samita.
Right, I gotta finish this though, because it's
sorry, go ahead.
Another the key. It's space is filled with concealed ones, for space is divided by time. Seek ye the key to the time space, and ye shall unlock the gate. Know ye that throughout the time space, consciousness surely exists, though from our knowledge it is hidden, yet still it forever exists. The key to worlds within thee are found only within, for man is the gateway of mystery, and the key that is one within one.
Yeah, man.
And then it goes on right here. Seek ye within the circle, use the word I shall give. Open the gateway within thee, and surely thou too shalt live.
It's interesting. It says seek ye within the circle.
Yep, and then the word.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is that when you analyze the circle, it encodes infinity within it, because it's got an infinite number of sides. It's an infinite polyhedron. So I find that interesting. Apparently the circle is the most potent symbol to the subconscious or unconscious mind.
Well, it's all of the poly, what are those things called? There's 5 of them.
The platonic
Polyhedrons.
solids.
Or platonic solids, yeah. It's all 5 platonic solids together is what a circle is.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And you can bisect a circle infinitely until it's completely filled with darkness too, and then you can go the opposite.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
And brings you to the point. And that's why the point within the circle is the secret. And that's what we are. Point perspective in the whole.
The center of the circle.
Yes.
Or to square the circle.
We are the square. The finite is the square, and the infinite is the circle. If you could look at it that way too. Yes. And that's the whole thing with this whole metaphysical thing, is that the layer upon layer, the iteration folds in on itself, just like the Hebrew alphabet does.
Well, that's also encoded in the fractal nature of the tree of life as well.
Correct. And
every Sephiroth contains a tree. Every tree contains another tree. Blah blah blah.
Yes, just like our lungs are just look like the trees on Earth.
Yeah,
the branches, the bronchial branches.
And they look like the cosmic web.
Yep.
The bronchi in the lungs, trees,
fjords,
branches to the twigs. Fjords. It's definitely a fractal. Yeah. Rivers. Yeah. I mean, God, you can, like a river delta.
The delta.
Eagle-eye view. Yeah, you can go on and on, but you can find many examples of natural fractals in nature.
And that's where correspondence is. Yep. That's absolutely where you find the iteration within iteration.
Well, see, this is why astrological correspondences are a real thing. They are a reality. You can't, I said it before on your show, and I'll say it again, correspondence is the most important word in the occult. It really is, because you'll have certain gemstones will correspond to certain planets or zodiac signs. Different archetypes do. It's like I made that video about why Thanksgiving's celebrated on that day.
On Thursday.
Occult correspondences. So yeah.
Like the roots of a tree. Oh yeah, and the upside down Christmas tree, which is gaining popularity now, I guess, over in the eastern side of the world. They're hanging their trees upside down. Why is that? Do you know why that is, right?
Well, you have the
God.
inverted tree, which is the klipoth.
Hmm?
You have the inverted tree of life, which is the klipoth, which is the tree of the realm of empty shells, basically.
Yeah, but the meaning of turning an evergreen tree upside down is to expose the root to God or to the light, right?
Reminds me of the hangman card. Because the hangman, he's upside down and he's got beams of light coming out of his head. What is the hangman card?
I have no idea. As above, so below, like the roots of a tree. Yeah, and the squaring the circle is actually the formula for ascension.
Right.
It's how to,
Allegorically speaking, yeah.
because the ineffable could be considered the circle, the endless, the undescribable or indefinable. And how does the indefinable or ineffable define itself? Through the finite transient point perspectives, which we all are, and that's why we all have a narrow path. We all have, and that's what brought it all together for me. It was the narrow gate, the eye of a needle, all of them euphemisms and sayings that are, they're just quick, wordy statements. You can go the
Right.
way if you don't know what it means, obviously, because you can sit there and guess all day long, like the word made flesh. People will think that, okay, so Jesus Christ was real because he was made flesh. Well,
Yeah.
real as in, the light, and that's everything to us, because without light, we can't observe. Right. I mean, and that brings to mind the double slit experiment. Without the
Right.
observer, things
Yeah,
don't happen there. Right. I mean, and that explains the duality of everything. You can say that waves don't exist or waves, but they're just a description for a function.
right.
They're not things in themselves. Like Ken Wheeler would, like, if you say wave around him, he's like, oh, he jumps on, he jumps on that high horse of his and starts saying, well, waves are not a thing. That something does. Well, duh.
I like Ken
So do
Wheeler.
I. I like him
A
too.
lot of
I've learned a lot from that guy. The guy is smarter as a whip, man.
yeah, a lot of people hate him,
Pompous as hell, though.
but no, I like Ken Wheeler. He makes me laugh.
He's a pompous dude. He's just full of himself, but that's Ken, and I like him for that. Whatever. But yeah, he's full of a lot of information when it comes, because if you knew when you were a little kid that the fridge magnet on your fridge was the key to the universe or the key to your knowing, I mean, how far ahead would you be of the game now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I didn't realize it until I was 40 something years old, about the magnet.
Yeah. So yeah, I just immediately, you talked about the question you asked was like, why are people hanging their Christmas tree upside down? And that immediately evoked the clip-off, the reverse tree, but also the hangman card. And the hangman card corresponds to the Hebrew letter mem and the element of water.
And water is where our memory is stored, right? That's why it's called mem.
Yeah.
Memory. Right. That's
one of the
the whole
secret
thing is, if you have a question, look to the word you're questioning with, and you'll probably find the answer within that word. That's the beauty of it all. I've noticed that lately, that the answers come to you in the words you ask the question with.
Can you give an example on that? Sorry, I was doing research on the computer, but yeah, I'm gonna focus on what you're saying, Steve. Sorry about that.
What do you mean? Oh,
What was the point you just said? I'm sorry.
Like individual. And the individual. What is individual, and why is it named individual? Because in divide you all, right? I mean, it's that simple. Is English really English? English is a spinoff from all the languages previous, right?
Right. Yeah.
And it's the most complicated, most intricate one, but it's the most simple, straightforward one when you realize what the words are.
Yeah.
Right? When you can look at them in the right context. And that's why most people get lost when they're looking at hieroglyphics and iconography from the past, because we're not in that mindset. We cannot read it the way they read it. We can put word to it or guess how they seen it, but we can't see it exactly how they seen it.
Right. No, yeah, exactly.
Out of context. But for some reason, English tends to put it straight in your face, like you just said, memory. 108, 36, 36 is the Pythagorean triangle, right? Which is the water molecule.
Yeah.
And 108 is what, a big Hindu number. I mean, you have to.
Yeah, 108 is, you can derive the number 108 from adding up. If you take the first 24 terms of the Fibonacci sequence, and if you add up all the integers and then add it all up again, it comes to 108, and that's the limit of the golden ratio. See, that's the thing, the golden ratio has a limit, because there's a repeating code. So every 24th, so basically, if you take the Fibonacci sequence to infinity, right? Every 24 iterations, as the number gets larger and larger, when you add up all the integers, so say you had, I don't know, I can't name a very large prime number, but a repeating pattern occurs every 24 iterations if you sum all the integers up to infinity. And it's at the 24th iteration it repeats. And that's interesting, because you have the 4 and 20, number 24, 12 pairs of
420
cranial, 12 pairs of cranial nerves, Hitler's birthday. Sorry, that was callous, that was, including that one.
420, April 20.
420, so stoners can drop their psychic firewall and be stupid. I'm sorry, I'm not attacking it.
He's asking about magnets. We are like, okay, you say you break a magnet into a million pieces. The million pieces are still going to be magnets, still going to be bipolar, two poles, but they're going to be just of lesser magnitude. You could think of us as the conglomeration, just like you were saying in that first read you did, that we are the conglomerate, the parts of the conglomerate. And right?
Yeah, it's interesting that we've got 24 people watching, and I was just talking about the number 24.
Right. And,
Yeah,
and the Fibonacci is not the prima or primer for it's a different spiral. I think it's the Lucas numbers, I think.
Right.
Because the Fibonacci would bring out exact same clones. It would make everything the same.
Yeah, but there's variants.
Similar, but not exactly the same. That's why we all have different fingerprints.
Yeah.
That's why we all have like snowflakes. There's no two snowflakes the same.
Yeah, there's this very close asymmetry between everything. Yeah. No, that's very interesting, that point. Yeah. But yeah, that you find the number 24 in nature from the Fib. And this is why a snail doesn't grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. There's a limit to it. And this is why I think there must be, I don't know, because in Jacob Boehme said that the universe is between kind of the abyss and heaven, pleroma, and he said that the universe was infinite. So he said there'd be infinite galaxies and stuff, but this was before physics, so I don't know if that's true. To me, in my mind, it seems there must be, because everything has limits in the universe. So
that's the thing about a black hole, dude. That's how singularity and infinite are the same.
Right. Yeah. It's just inversely proportional.
Yes. And it just keeps going inverse out. And that's the ebb and flow. The in breath, the out breath.
See, what's the ultimate balance?
Dimensions are the 9 cycles. That's the tiers of the dimensions of the in and the out, I think.
Yeah, there is a mathematical proof that 1 is equal to 0, but it kind of cheats BODMAS. So I don't know if it's like true. I've seen it debunked by a mathematician, but there is like, what's the other equation?
It's
e to the power of pi times j equals 1 or -1 or something. I don't know.
Yes, I've seen
But
that. I just seen that video, what you're talking about, and I can't remember. I'm no mathematician, you know. And yeah, and it's all about resonant field, right? I mean, and what happens when you go against the grain, or
yeah,
you're doing something that's not of the law? The law is the resonant field, correct?
well, the law, you said the law is in law, like the
Yeah,
law.
the law
Yeah,
of
the law is demiurge is the law,
yeah.
or you can say God is the law. You know.
What is
See,
right?
what's interesting? You know, I just had a thought here, Steve, and we're all over the place here. We're talking about like numbers, Fibonacci,
That's
reading
how
the
we always do
scriptures.
it, though.
We're all over the fucking place, but we're not actually all over the place. We're not like in a labyrinth, so to speak. It's
Right.
everything we're talking about is convergent to singular truth.
Hmm.
And that's really a beautiful thing, man.
And that's what we all are, is convergent to singular truth. Every
yeah,
one of
well, it's true. Although some people are taking their sweet ass time about it, but
well, you know, to each their own. That's the whole beauty of it all. You know, that's
you know, I guess
that's
do
the
you,
true free will of our world, is that decision right there, whether or not you're going to pay attention to this or pay attention to that. In every word, there is opposing definitions usually. Think about that. Every word has its Janus or its opposite, you know?
antonym.
Yeah, antonym. There you go.
There are, I think there are some words that don't.
There's only a
I
few.
remember thinking about this a while back, and there's a select few words that don't have an antonym. Like, I'm trying to think of one. I remember contemplating this a while back, and I realized there's only a few though.
Yep, there's only a few.
There's oh man, I can't remember. I think I came up with a couple, but yeah, if anyone in the chat can think of any, put them in there.
Well, there's only one word for God, or one definition for God, you know,
I
ineffable, undescribable, right? I mean,
yeah, true. Yeah, even truth and lie or
yeah,
whatever.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's very interesting. My brain's feeling a bit fried just thinking about it, but yeah. But yeah,
Judge
read the
Dredd
cloud
said,
of
I am the
unknowing.
law. I
Judge
love
Dredd
that.
said, yeah, that's true.
Vinny, Diodorus, haven't seen you around. What's up? Leah in another life. What's up, sweetheart? Yeah, and the only thing I like about a collective like this collective we got going here is because you can actually feel the love. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about for me.
Well, yeah, interestingly, that's what the cloud of unknowing talked about. It was ascension, it focuses on ascension via the path of love rather than the path of the intellect.
Hmm.
Which I found very interesting. Yeah.
Yes, and you know, well, Bruno says, killing the person who made us suffer in our mind is the break of the law. Thou shalt not kill.
Yeah. There's very interesting on that point, Bruno. The Reddit stories. I was listening to one and they came up randomly, and it was like people who have killed someone defending a home invasion. What happened? And a lot of people were like, well, these people were going to come in and fucking kill me. So I shot two of them with my 12 gauge. I do think that you have a divine right to defend yourself. If someone is going to come and they're going to fucking kill you unless you don't kill them, I don't see anything wrong with that personally. Like, what are you just going to do? And this is echoed in the Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna tells Arjuna that he has to fight. He can't not fight. He has to.
But he's talking about the fight through life, right?
I know, but
Oh, yeah.
that's the macro scale of it, and this is the micro scale of it.
I'd like to point out that a lot of times I lose track of the physical side of things, and I'll admit that, because when my head's in the clouds, I tend to think in the clouds. So, You know,
Yeah.
it's people like thought that bring me back down to the earth and make me realize that there's a relative to the absolute. And I appreciate that, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what, we've been an hour and 10 minutes. You want to keep going for a bit longer?
It's up
Or
to you, buddy.
I mean, I'm cool. It's I just don't want to be too loud, too long. But it's only 8:10. That's not kind of that late.
The
So
dielectric in your heart. And, you know, there's another new name, Skagit. I love that. Did I say it right?
yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
messing with notifications. This is for sure. What's up?
me, what's up?
You were just going to say something.
No, I just opened Pistis Sophia to chapter 105, and the chapter's called "John Continueth His Questioning." I just think that's so brilliant.
You know, and that's another thing is how when you look up the names of the Bible and you look up the etymology of what they mean,
Yeah,
it's amazing. Everybody in chat should go to etymologydictionary.com and look up your name. And if you can't find anything with your whole name, break it down into like 3 letters at the beginning and then the 3 at the end, or, you know, you'll see something that looks like your name. And it's amazing. It's amazing what you find out, because it fits exactly what your personality is or what's going on in your life. It's
yeah. Do you want to hear John's questioning that he
Yes.
continued with? So he says, "My Lord, bear with me if I question thee, for from now on I will begin to question thee on all things concerning the manner, how we are to herald it to mankind." So I guess, how do you teach other people? Is that what he's saying? How to embark on the great
Say
work?
that again. Do it again.
So, "My Lord, bear with me if I question thee, for from now on I will begin to question thee on all things concerning the manner, how we are to herald it to mankind." He goes on, "If therefore I give that brother a mystery out of the mysteries of the beginning, which are in the first space from without, and if I give him many mysteries, and he doeth not what is worthy of the kingdom of heaven, desirest thou that we let him pass through to the mysteries of the second space? Perchance we win the soul of that brother, and he turneth, repenteth, and inheriteth the like kingdom. Dearest thou that we let him pass through to the mysteries which are in the second space, or not?" Did you get that? So he's like saying, okay, if we teach someone about mysticism and they get it, are we going to let him ascend or not? That's what I'm getting from that. Like,
Yeah,
he's talking about how to.
they cannot
He's
complete it unless they take it upon their own accord to do it.
The horse to the water thing. I
Yes.
think he's talking about the manner, all things concerning the manner, and how we herald it to mankind. So how do you tell people about the great work and completion of the great work? That seems to be what he's saying if we update the English and summarize it.
Well, that's
And,
what John was in the Bible, was a witness to the light. He was.
yeah, do you want to hear what Jesus says to this question? And the Savior answers and said unto John, "If it is a brother who is not play acting, but in truth longeth after God, if ye have given him many times the mysteries of the beginning, and because of the necessity of the elements of the fate, he hath not done what is worthy of the mysteries of the like kingdom, then forgive him. Let him pass through, and give him the first mystery which is in the second space. Perchance ye win the soul of that brother. And if he hath not done what is worthy of the mysteries of the light, and hath committed transgression and divers sin, and thereafter hath turned again and been in great repentance, and hath renounced the whole world, and ceased from all the sins of the world, and ye know with certainty that he doth not play act, but in true longeth after God, then turn ye anew, forgive him, and let him pass through, and give him the second mystery in the second space of the first mystery. There's more and more. Jesus goes on and on and on and on.
And on and gets more and more convoluted as you go.
Yeah, but when you talk about these, what was it called? It was called, let him pass through the mysteries which are in the second space. What's the second space?
The mysteries in the second space?
Yeah, what's the second space? Is that the abyss?
No, I think the second space is the earth, ain't it? The first space would be the abyss, the mind space. The second space is the life that we live here, I think.
And
Shadow, right?
the first mystery in the second space. Give him the first. So if they're not doing the great work properly, Jesus says, give him the first mystery which is in the second space. So I guess you're right. The second space, possible. Well, second is two, so that pertains to duality, maybe.
The first mystery in the second space would be the light itself, wouldn't it?
Hold on, didn't you just say the second space was the earth?
Yeah, and that's the second space is the life that is brought forth from the first mystery.
Yeah. See, these texts are very confusing. You have to be
I know that
very
one's
careful.
really confusing. When I read it, I was like, "Whoa!"
yeah. This Pistis Sophia is like advanced stuff. Okay, so the other space. I hope Yvonne watches this and explains all of this. So, okay, if the person does what he's supposed to do, give him the second mystery in the second space of the first mystery. I'm not even going to attempt to calculate what that means. I don't have the authority,
that right there is for you to ponder and for you to probe the depths of your mind. That's what that text is for. It's to engage your thought into that thinking.
Yeah, the contemplative.
Yes, and I found right now I got goosebumps even thinking like this, because I found that when you do that, it's like the field responds and the information finds you.
Yeah. Well, there's a third case that Jesus talks about here. I might as well read it for context of the first two. And again, if he hath not done what is worthy of the mysteries, but hath been in transgression and diverse sin, and thereafter again hath turned and been in great repentance, and hath renounced the whole world and the whole matter therein, and ceased from the sins of the world, so that ye know truly that he is not play acting, but longeth truly after God, then turn ye anew, forgive him, and receive his repentance, because the first mystery is compassionate and merciful minded. Let also that man pass through, and give him the three mysteries together, which are in the second space of the first mystery. So the second space, the first mystery would be God, and the second space in the first mystery would be the abyss with the logos, I'm thinking automatically. Help me out here.
I'm not even going to pretend to know. I was just guessing.
But this is what that book, The Cloud of Unknowing, talked about. It talks about the path of love and contemplation to complete the great work.
Mm-hmm.
So
you can find God through deed, through ritual, through thought, through love, and that's deed, right? I mean, that's
yeah. Sorry to interrupt. There's a last bit from Jesus that we'll have to read. So this is his fourth answer, which wraps everything up. Jesus says, the limit of the power of disciples to forgive sins. If that man then transgresseth and divers in sin, from that moment on towards, ye are not to forgive him, nor to receive his repentance, but let him be among you as a stumbling block, as a transgressor. All right, so if the horse won't drink from the water, that's it. What can you do? And then he concludes, for amen, I say unto you, those three mysteries will be witnesses for his last repentance, and he hath not repentance from this moment onwards. For amen, I say unto you, the soul of that man will not be cast back into the world above from this moment onwards, but will be in the abodes of the dragon of the outer darkness. Booyah! Now we know what that means.
Yeah.
Damn, man. Who? I mean, Jesus goes on for a few more paragraphs, but okay. So for anyone interested in going over that again, that's chapter 105 of Pistis Sophia.
And here's a simplified version out of the Emerald Tablets that I was reading along when you were reading that, and it's just a bunch of sayings that are, the key of wisdom, which are, be thou not proud, O man, in thy wisdom, discourse with the ignorant as well as the wise. If one comes to thee full of knowledge, listen and heed, for wisdom is all. Keep thou not silent when evil is spoken, for truth like the sunlight shines above all. He who oversteppeth the law shall be punished, for only through law comes the freedom of men. Cease thou not fear, or cause thou not fear, for fear is a bondage, a fetter that binds the darkness to men. Follow thine heart during thy lifetime. Do thou more than is commanded of thee. When thou hast gained riches, follow thine heart, for all these are of no avail if thine heart be weary. Diminish thou not the time of following thine heart, it is a board of the soul. They that are guided go not astray, but they that are lost cannot find a straight path. If thou go among men, make for thyself love, the beginning and end of the heart. If one cometh unto thee for counsel, let him speak freely, that the thing for which he hath come to thee may be done. If he hesitates to open his heart to thee, it is because thou, the judge, doeth the wrong. Repeat thou not extravagant speech, neither listen to it, for it is the utterance of one not in equilibrium. Speak thou not of it, so that he before thee may know wisdom. Silence is of great profit, and abundance of speech profiteth nothing. Exalt not thine heart above the children of men, lest he be brought lower than the dust. If thou be great among men, be honored for knowledge and gentleness. If thou seekest to know the nature of a friend, ask not his companion, but pass a time alone with him, debate with him, testing his heart by his words and his bearing. That which goeth into the storehouse must come forth, and the things that are thine must be shared with a friend. And here's the last part. Knowledge is regarded by the fool as ignorance, and the things that are profitable are to him hurtful. He liveth in death, it is therefore his food.
Right, yeah. I thought you said that was going to be a simplified version in Emerald Tablets.
It was super simplified compared to that.
I don't know, it sounded pretty
Well, the
hardcore.
thys and the days and the thine and all that. Yeah, that's because it's archaic language, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's they're pretty much the same. This goes on and on, but yeah, there's a condition where. Sorry?
Postboy wants to ask a question.
Yeah, fire away, Postboy.
Questions rule. Ask away. He who
Ask
breaks
the question in all capitalizations.
Soft. Miles, you're crazy.
Maritime law.
Oh, is Ken in here? What's up, Ken? Is B3 mind? Questions rule. Okay, I thought you were going to ask, Post.
Maybe he's typing it out.
No, it's a long one. It's heaven or
Ali Berry says, thank you. I appreciate this. Well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it too.
Yeah,
Sure, Steve would echo that sentiment.
Postboy wants one more second. Hi, Michelle Canham, Michelle Seymour. What's up, sweetheart? I haven't seen you around for a while.
Thothamon, he who breaks the law must go to the house of pain. The house of pain. That's pretty funny.
Baby Chain Gang says, I have a strange feeling we all have conversed before in the past. Probably. Yeah. I think that's the resonance of this sort of thing is we're like moths to a flame when it comes to this stuff. I am anyway. Anybody that's willing to, have a discussion on this stuff is,
You do. I still, I've said it before and I'll say it again. When the Kathar Upanishad It says the way to Brahma is through one that has seen him. It's so true, because like if you haven't been taught by an illuminated mystic how to correctly interpret scripture, it is impossible. It is not based on a priori intellectual knowledge. It is based on experience. And this is what when I had my samadhi experience and experienced infinity and what God was, it was fleeting because it was psychedelically induced, but it's not something you could ever explain. Like, it's an experience. I definitely experienced the infinite. It was pretty cool.
Well, that was the main thing Phil says, is that it took him 4 years to be able to articulate what he, to get through so he could explain it.
Well, I think it took me 10 years to articulate that. It's interesting because samadhi is enlightenment in some ways, but it's not really. It's like the event that you have that fully puts you on the path of the great work. Yeah. Did we get the question?
Well, it's like our ego keeps us alive long enough to ask us why we are here. What the hell's the point? Right.
So ISB3 Mind says, I remember reading Pistis Sophia. I remember seeing the description of God and creation in a scientific way. That's absolutely true. This is what I get frustrated with about secular scientists, is that the real nature of the universe, because metaphysics and physics is two sides of the same coin, it's delineated in the most sublime language by our ancestors. And it gets written off as religious superstition, which is why you said Thoth says fools reject true knowledge.
Yeah, knowledge is regarded by the fool as ignorance.
Yeah, ISB Free Mind, it's the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, has Roger Penrose's theory of the conforming cyclic cosmos.
The TCC model. Yep.
Yeah, that's Penrose didn't come up with that.
Gabriel's horn. That's Gabriel's horn in the Bible.
Yes. Yeah.
That's Gabriel's horn, the CCC model, and we are the point at the beginning of the horn.
Michelle says we've all been both genders. Careful now. Not the time to be saying that.
Right.
I'm joking.
Hey, I'm rocking a beard. Getting pretty long too. Until COVID's over, I'm gonna let it go.
COVID will never end.
Probably not. It's gonna be
a new religion. It's the new religion. Washing your hands is like the Eucharist.
But think of this, man. Never before, never in our history of our world has everybody been focused on one thing. Ever.
Well. Ever. Here, let me say it. So it's the new religion. So your mask is like the hijab. Or putting on your mask is like doing the Father, Son, Holy Spirit prayer, right? Washing your hands with hand sanitizer.
Yeah, just like the mosque when you got to wash your feet.
And do you know what the vaccination is? The vaccination's divine union with God. God is within me.
I don't think so.
Oh no, trust me. They've taken the template of Abrahamic religion to keep this coronavirus thing going. That's why all the people are following it. So that's how they're
following it, because they're freaking scared shitless because the news does nothing but prop it up.
I get it. Here the high priests reading their sacramental texts is the news.
But I don't want to plant seeds that I don't want sown. That's why I don't.
No, I'm just pointing it out. See, this is why
that's why I don't go down these roads, though.
No. I'm just pointing it out. I don't give a fuck because everything that's begotten never is. So who cares? But the point is that the template of the Abrahamic faiths has been lifted and used on COVID by the people behind it. It absolutely has. You have to get people on a steep unconscious level to get them to do all this thing. And everyone here in this chat is obviously psychically immune to it. I don't know what it is about all of us people. We have the ability to see through it. Maybe because we're angels. I don't know.
Yes, news is nothing but lies. I mean, if one thing Trump coined right was fake news.
Fake news.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I know, just there's a point on Leo says that's some strong energy. Careful what you focus it on.
That's what I was exactly what I was talking about.
What you think about, you bring about. I absolutely
Exactly.
and ye shall wear ye oldie masks. Yes.
Hi, Joyce. How are you? But yeah, I think we're done, I guess, right?
You had enough, yeah?
Yeah,
It's
my
late
back.
there, isn't it? It's
I'm
10:30.
super uncomfortable. My back is just freaking wrenched, dude.
Yeah.
I've had
All
this
right. Yeah. Well,
throbbing pain going down my sciatic nerve is pinched.
yeah. Yeah. We should do these midweek chats, man, more often. They're
You
good.
can do it every Wednesday if you want, brother.
We can do it Wednesday. We can do it Monday Night Live. I don't know, whenever. I don't care. But yeah, it's good because we can always wing it well.
Thought as a sentient sex robot. See, Joyce, I give the wrenches to the sentient sex robots like Michelle and Thoth. All right, guys, I take it easy. Thanks for joining us. You know, like I said, I don't do this for money. I do this for me, for my journey, to share it with you in hopes that I could inspire you to find your own path and to bring your own solace upon yourself. And I haven't reached it, but I intend to someday. And
I'd do it for money. I so far I've made $0.
you're just making a prank too, right?
No, you don't. Yeah, it's interesting actually. In the Cloud of Unknown, it mentions how you can't set up an institution or monetize the great work. It's not possible.
Right.
But yeah, everyone read that book,
You.
The Cloud of Unknown. Read it.
Yes.
Good night,
Everyone, I
everyone. Thanks,
appreciate
Steve.
being in
Thanks
our
for
reality.
yeah.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate you coming.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
All right, brother.
Good night, all. Thank you.
Cut back on that vape, man. That shit's gonna kill you.
I'm forgotten, so I never am. Anyway.
You're supposed to say I'm already dead, brother.
I'm going to use that to get out of loads of things now.
Right.
Yeah. I can't do it tonight because I'm forgotten. I never am. All right. Take care, guys.
Take it easy.